Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug him. Long was 1975.
Welcome to another ZX Spectrum versus Commodore 64 comparison video, as I like to call it, Playground Wars. In this video we'll be taking a look at this game here, SWIV, on the mentioned systems. Now basically it's a top-down shoot 'em up, simultaneous two-player if you want, as you can see at the bottom of the screen where it explains the controls, where one of you is a helicopter and the other one is a jeep. It was released in 1991 by the Sales Curve and wrongly reported back in the day by some people as being a sequel to Silkworm, where it's more of a spiritual successor. Obviously Silkworm was a side-scrolling arcade shoot 'em up where you play as a jeep or a helicopter. That's where the similarities lie with this game. It's 91, 9 years into the Spectrum's life cycle, so it's a very, very late game, hence the fact that it's 128K only, and it's held in very, very high regard on the Spectrum, which is why I wanted to do this comparison video, because also I wanted to do some more shoot 'em ups. I don't have enough shoot 'em ups. Now I will say, oh look, Jeep LV426, someone wants to put that name in on the high score table. Obviously that's an Aliens reference. Now I don't know if you can see it, but see where it says keys, QA, P, enter in space. It doesn't let you define the keys. I don't know why. It won't be a problem on the Commodore because I'll be playing it on the joystick. But yeah, it doesn't let you define the keys. And so Q is up, A is down, P is left. And are you ready for this? Enter is right. Space is far. So the problem with that is you've got to hold two keys between the left key and the right key, and that means constantly, if you're rocking it, because it's quite a hard game, your finger slips off the left key. Maybe someone knows this. I don't know why you wouldn't let us do something as simple as define the keys, or just go with the classics. O left and P right. Like I said, maybe someone knows this, but yeah, let's get into it. So it's set to 6. Oh, let me play with Kempston either, so that's why I have to play this on keys. Balls, I say, balls. Right, press 1. There we go. It does have very nice music. Right, so 1991 the Sales Curve, but Storm Presents. Don't know, did they develop it? Not the Sales Curve. Space is fire. There we go. Said space is fire. There we go. Rewind tape to start side B and press play on tape. Not today, my friends, because this is a tap file. You only have to load it in this one time, to be fair. Not sure why this didn't come out on 48K. Stop tape, press space. There we go. Now, having not actually set the keys up properly because I'm a tard, let's try that again. Hi and welcome to Dave's Amateur Half Hour. I'm your host, Dave, and I'm a tard. Right, 1. There we go, and then space. Right. Now, basically, it's because I said where you do the keys are mapped, it makes it so hard right off the bat. I would have marked this down on the controls, unless the people who played it had a Sinclair joystick and not a Kempston, in which case it wouldn't have been a problem. It is. This gap makes something incredibly hard. I like the graphics, obviously they're monochromic, nice tinny, you know, 128 sound effects, but really sharp, clear, crisp graphics, which you would expect from the Spectrum. Now, I don't know what the story is, I don't know, maybe I just want to interdiction-ing with my plane helicopter. I don't know. What a weird acronym. Like I said, you must be able to come up with something slightly better than that. CD World Invoice Vocation. There you go. That's better. Funny thing is, I mean, to some degree, lots of shooters do this. Oh, that's cool. But you have to wait for the break in their fire, and they do mix it up. You know, depending on where you know what they actually are. More often than not, a stationary target that would be. Like those, they're different. Their rate of fire is different. Now, obviously, I think this was most famous on. Oh, we'd go mental. Amiga and Atari ST. I don't think my brother ever had this on his Amiga, so I cannot tell you what it looks like on there. But then, to be fair, if it wasn't for it so big, my Amiga A500 Plus, and how I capture videos, I'd start doing gameplays on it. But space is a premium, and it's huge. Ooh. Now, like I said, the control itself, oh, he's got rockets, is super, super tight. Get them straight away. Jesus. But it's this god-awful gap, or key mapping. God, it's mixing it up. This makes it, well, I wouldn't say unplayable. Balls hard, a ball, as you can see. It's quite generous with the lives, thank God. Now, I can't shoot that ball. Is that because that would be something that the Jeep has to take care of? I don't know, because they get these straight away. Is it like Xenon in that regard? It is very nice graphics. Or maybe I can shoot them. Did I die? I don't recall exploding on that last one. Skip to the end. Thank you. I'll have another go, because that was painfully poor. But like I said, look at the control options. I cannot change it. And if you look on the right hand side, if you change to the Jeep, it makes no difference. It's the same key options. Balls is what it is, which is a shame because, you know, graphically it's very nice and the controls aren't sluggish, they're super tight, so ultimately it's a big sort of hit into what is an absolute fantastic shooter. Because I have played this before and I do very much enjoy it. It's just, it took me doing this comparison video to realise, oh god, it's that game with those stupid bloody keys. Like I said, if anyone knows the reason they did this, and if it's a genuine reason, then I can understand, you know, fair play. But if anyone knows the reason they did this, let me know, because it's a real head scratcher. Would have liked the 128K music in game. I'm not sure why, or at least give us the option to turn it on and turn it off. But yeah, super smooth scrolling. Do I think it's better than Xenon? No, not really, because nothing's better than Xenon. I think there is a version on this, on the Game Boy Advance. I do know the last time I played this, I did get to the boss. That's unlikely. Yoink. Yoink. Yeah, this is impressive. I like this. I like this a lot. Is it the best shooter on the Spectrum? Obviously not. That's R-Type. Nothing can knock that off its perch. Obviously I've got a comparison video of that versus the Commodore 64, and it absolutely creams the Commodore 64. To be fair though, the Commodore 64 version of R-Type is a reskinned version of another game, which is a bit kind of lazy. But I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure someone explained it to me. Get that? Oh, I saw you this time. Looks like the thing Indy takes the head, the gold head off, doesn't it? Don't know why I thought that. So why can't I destroy these? Or maybe I can. Or maybe I do need a Jeep. Look, no slowdown as far as I can. Oh shit! As far as I can tell. Oh, like I said, it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It just wouldn't be half as difficult. I know, excuses, if it wasn't for these bloody keys. I do like them. Kind of Commando, that remind me of. There you go, there's a boss. Was it a giant fish? Ooh, big. Well detailed. Woo-woo! Sweet. Didn't think I was going to get that far. Well, there you go. This is really, really impressive, apart from the keys and the lack of music. Oh, they sped up. You know, nice graphics and everything. So let's see what it looks like on the... Oh, look at this bullet hell-tastic. What it looks like on the Commodore 64. So here we go with SWIV on the Commodore 64. Press 5 to start. Obviously, it's a given, you know, it's going to have better music because it's the SID chip. And also, the control on the Spectrum, the actual sort of, you know, how you'll... The movement of your craft and everything like that, the control was tight, it was just the way you had to, you know, interact with it because of the god-awful key mapping. So this is going to be somewhat easier to play because I'm playing it on a joypad. I am, however, playing it on Frodo through my Wii because there was no way I was going to try this on my C64 Mini with that god-awful joystick. Anyway. Oh, of course it's amazing, it's Rob Whittaker. Yeah, that's fantastic. It's 1 or 2 simultaneous. Again, it's Spectrum-wise. Right, let's get into it. A load screen on the Commodore. Now, oh, I've got double gun straight away. There's no music. I'm guessing that was a toggle thing. The sound effects, though, are crunchy and lush. It doesn't really seem to bear much of a resemblance to the Spectrum in the level layouts. I mean, look, you got that. Only that was on top of a pyramid, wasn't it? In the Spectrum version. But, so, well, each machine's playing to their strength or something? Balls hard, absolutely balls hard. It's very brown, but then that's kind of a Commodore thing. But the graphics are nice. Not the best I've ever seen from a shooter on here. It's harder than the Spectrum, even without having to deal with that god-awful key. I can hold it down. Even with it being on joystick, it's still super hard. But yeah, graphically, it's alright. It seems to bear more resemblance to Flying Shark than the Spectrum version. Like I said, different teams playing to different strengths and stuff like that. You can tell it's SWIV because, like I said, because of those rockets and, you know, the turrets and stuff like that. It's just the placement of it is different. What's this? You get to the boss a hell of a lot quicker. Okay, the boss was better on the Spectrum. What's interesting is I put a cheeky little jump cut in there because I couldn't seem to get off the high score table. Oh, it's harder than the Spectrum. See, the thing is, I know it's subjective and stuff like that, and people say, well, I am a Specky fanboy, but I'm going to say, remove the colour, I'm more of a fan of the sharper graphics on the Spectrum. But there's no denying this is very, very impressive, and it's obviously technically the better looking game, I guess. But I'm going to say I just prefer that version. Ooh, I love you. Not sure why the level's so short. No, what is that? See, to the untrained eye, you probably think it was a power-up based on every other Bulletstorm game you've played, and you try and pick it up. So it's an interesting one to call, comparison-wise. Obviously, we'll give sound to the Commodore, that's a no-brainer. Graphically, it looks better on the Commodore, even though I prefer the Spectrum. Can't fault controls on either, but do I shoot that first? But level is too short on this for me, and that boss is really underwhelming. And it's a different game. That boss is really underwhelming. Yeah, so shorter levels. Underwhelming boss, better graphics, it's kind of different gameplay, and absolutely balls hard, harder than the Spectrum. So you know what, I personally would give it to the Spectrum, but if I'm going to be, you know, from being tasted subjective, but if I'm going to be unbiased, I've got to give it to the Commodore 64, haven't I? Anyway, as always, I'd love to know what you think, particularly if you had either versions of these games back in the day, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.